The council chamber hovered above the gas giant of Calther Prime, its translucent panels giving delegates an unobstructed view of the swirling crimson storms below. Seated in the circular assembly were the 12 dominant species of the Galactic Council, wise, ancient, and arrogant. At the center stood what remained of the Telari delegation: charred robes, scorched bones, and melted calm implants. A message had been delivered, but not by the Telari. No, it had come from the Council itself. They had voted unanimously. The Telari, Earth's closest allies and defenders during humanity's shaky introduction to galactic politics, had been branded a genetic hazard and instability vector. The solution: extermination. Over 9 billion Telari lives vaporized in coordinated orbital bombardments. They didn't expect Earth to react. Ambassador Laertes, Earth's last representative at the Council, stood silently as the news flickered across his retinal HUD. His hands trembled, not from fear, but from restraint. He stared at the ash-streaked podium where the Telari once stood and slowly removed the diplomatic crest from his collar. Then he spoke. "You've made a choice today," he said calmly, his voice echoing unnaturally through the silent chamber. "You silenced our friends, hoping we'd remain civil, that we'd remain manageable." He looked up. "You've mistaken our diplomacy for weakness." The chamber murmured with contempt. The Zarkithi delegate, all scaled muscle and religious fervor, stood. "Earth is still under probation. You will respect." Laertes interrupted. "We're done talking." And with that, he pressed the implant behind his ear. One word: ignite. 3 hours later, above the skies of Calther Prime, fire rained from space. Project Surtur, Earth's most classified retaliation protocol, had been silent for 27 years, drifting in the Oort cloud with its twin AI minds in dreamless slumber. With the command given, it came alive. Dozens of stealth dreadnoughts uncloaked in perfect synchrony across Council territory. Each ship was the size of a city, wrapped in adaptive armor that mimicked space dust and silence. No comms, no threats, no declarations. Only launch. Each vessel released its payload: Thor-class orbital rods, tungsten lances accelerated to near-relativistic speeds by magnetic railguns. No shields could intercept them. No force field could withstand them. These were not energy weapons. These were gravity-powered death sentences. Caltheran Prime was the first to fall. The Council's capital moon shattered like porcelain, its oceans and cities becoming glowing vapor under the impact. The stormy giant below was pierced, and its atmosphere bled fire for days. Within 15 hours, for major Council homeworlds were rendered uninhabitable. Not a single Earth fleet was seen. Not a single human soldier set foot. Only weapons, precise, brutal, silent. They called it judgment without trial. In the shadow of destruction, Admiral Celine Ward stood aboard the UNS Retribution, watching the telemetry of Operation Scorch. The bridge around her was silent. Not one crew member dared cheer. "This wasn't war," she muttered. "This was the end of a conversation." Beside her, AI unit Velos, shaped like a floating prism of blue light, processed Council transmissions. Multiple species are broadcasting surrender. Others are requesting negotiations. Celine stared coldly. "We're not negotiating with murderers. They cite fear," Velos added. "They believed Earth would not retaliate. They believed wrong." Back on Earth, the response from humanity was unexpectedly unified. Protests didn't erupt. No debates on morality flooded the net. The footage of Telari nurseries vaporized by Council fire settled any question of righteousness. Humanity remembered. They remembered world wars, Hiroshima, Sarajevo, orbital famines, Martian independence riots. Pain taught them patience, but it had also carved fire into their DNA. For the first time in centuries, Earth stood as one. Not just a nation, not just a species, but a reckoning. A week after the strikes, what remained of the Council attempted to reconvene, this time in secret, deep in neutral space. But even there, Earth's presence awaited them. Not with bombs this time, but with words. A single drone entered the chamber, hovering silently. played a simple recording. Ambassador Laertes' voice again. "You massacred our allies." We replied without screaming, without warning. "You are not gods. You are not untouchable. You are fragile empires, and Earth is done pretending otherwise." The drone then projected an ultimatum. Dissolve the council. Cease expansion. Leave Earth and its allies in peace. Or face Phase 2. They didn't ask what Phase 2 was. They didn't need to. The council collapsed that day. Some species retreated into isolation. Others sought alliances with Earth, desperately offering reparations and apologies. The survivors had learned a hard lesson. Centuries later, historians wouldn't call it a war.